Let's talk about the psychology of predatory kindness and how to spot a master manipulator. There's a lot of master manipulators around us who try to rewrite stories about us based on our reactions, based on our actions, based on the illusions and confusions. Don't mind the sun, it's shining on me. And in this video, I want to talk about how kindness has been used as a weapon to basically manipulate actual kind people in society. And so for those who are new here, my name is Bianca. I speak about a lot of things. I speak about life experiences that I've gone through. I also speak about the fact that manipulation is a tactic to write your script and to write your identity, and also the importance of deconstructing what you've been told, who has told your story, and how to reclaim back your glory. And for me, this one is very close to my heart because a lot of people have tried their utmost best to use kindness as a form of strategy and as a form of weapon to weaponize me or to further create a red flag around the connection. So let's talk about that. One thing I've noticed is the mechanics of forced in-depthness. So in simple terms, it's the mechanics the connection is forced, right? But it's forced to create a depth collection. We have been taught in society to always be kind. And when you're in South Africa, for instance, the sun is really bright, guys. Let me just pause the video quick. Okay, so back to my train of thought. We have been taught within society that kindness is a form of connection, it's a form of empathy, and it's a form of a great way to let somebody's guard down, right? And I've when you I'm from South Africa, so we are naturally kind people. What I've noticed is as I've traveled, I've noticed that Westernization uses empathy and kindness as a strategy to connect with people, but it's not really from the heart and it's not from the art of being a human being. That's my experience. And in South Africa, we have a saying called Ubuntu, which means the humanityness, the having the morale, right, which comes with kindness, which comes with compassion. So umuntu ungomuntu ngabantu. A person is a person because they understand people. You cannot just be a human without understanding humanity and the unity of how we all feel, right? And I found this very interesting how a lot of people in my past, a lot of family members, a lot of exes, a lot of narcissistic people, manipulative neighbors, they are really ill-intentional in any shape, way, or form where they use people's kindness for weakness and they use kindness to further create a forced connection with that person until they can get something out of them. And so we need to discover this and we need to talk about it because it's really a severe master manipulative tactic that people use. They will use your kindness as a form of working against you, manipulating you, and further trying to rewrite your narrative for you. So watch out for this. And also, if anybody from my past is watching this thinking that I am very weak because of my kindness, darling, I'm stronger. I'm stronger because of it, and I'm also wiser because of what has happened to me. So let's talk about analyzing the unsolicited gifts that people will do to act as a form of kind gestures towards you. I've noticed where, friends and family would say words that sound like they really mean it, like, you're always welcome at my place. Whenever you need help, please reach out. Don't be afraid. Or, where they would act like they're an active supportive system. But when you really truly need that support, that is where they start collecting debt. So they will use kindness as a form of supporting you, but then later adding that as a collective debt to how they further want to manipulate you. And so, if you notice within certain relationships and certain connections in society, they're all kind of transactional, especially with a manipulative person. They are very transactional with how they help you, with how they deal with you, and what they kind of expect in return for their kindness. So, this is why I say it's very westernized, because westernized cultures are seemingly very transactional. There's no sense of traditional essence and philosophical teachings that are passed down from one white child to another. It's constant transaction, it's constant social etiquette, and it's constant um, channeling, programming. And it's not to say that all white people or all Western cultures are like this, but that's what I've noticed coming from a very heritage South African background is most cultures have a sense of philosophy and they have a sense of principality when working with people. And one of it is you cannot use your kindness to manipulate somebody else. And also it's very important to know that, and it's very important, it's my personal experience dealing with different race groups and different countries, how the word kindness is used and how kindness is being is a form of connection with somebody else. It's very different in general with different countries. So that's one thing I basically notice is this is a red flag. And when kindness becomes a transactional need from one person to another, that's already a red flag. Because if we are to talk about empathy, one person has empathy, and the other person is using somebody's empathy to gain, to have benefits, to use them, to abuse them, to destroy them, and to further manipulate them, that is the red flag. And we need to really speak about predatory kindness because it is very subtle, but it's also very psychological. It's a saying where people say, you're using my kindness for weakness, or you're taking my kindness for weakness, or you're taking advantage of my kindness. I would say the detail of this transition stems from the support, right? The moment somebody offers you support, you think it's general. You think it's they're being generous. Sorry, not the word general. You think it's generous of them to offer you support. However, that support is a leash, and that support is collective debt for future. For future, how can I say it, for future requirements that they want out of you. So I've had very manipulative stages in my life where, a friend, a family member would support me, but in return, they would want something that they would want me to obey to something that they would like to further have out of me, or abstract or extract out of me. And I noticed this was very manipulative because if you are to support me, let's say in my living situation, why would you further need me to, be or how can I say it? Why would you need me to be a certain figure for you to feel complete? Why wouldn't you know how to just support me as a person without you finding a need to latch on what you've done for me, how you've done it for me, and further what I need to do in return for you? And it's quite intense when it gets to that point where we are expecting people to give us love or give us support based on the support that we've given them. That's also another topic where we can really discuss, and how disappointing it could be, as a human being, to know that you have supported so many people, but when you need support, there's no one in return who wants to offer a hand, or there's nobody in return who is there for you as much as you were there for others. And here, what I notice the most important one is the boundary testing. Because of kindness itself, people automatically expect you to lower your boundaries and for you to sabotage yourself in acts of assisting somebody or in acts of still being kind. And this is why I say it's predatorial, because it's literally using a person's kindness to sabotage them, to get something out of them, and to further manipulate or force a connection with them. So what I really think is we need to, in this video, it's going to be very short. What I think and what I notice throughout this is it's really important to know that if you're a kind person, number one, people think that you're stupid, because that is exactly the tactics that manipulators believe, that a kind person is very stupid, but that's not true. A kind person has morals. For instance, to meet somebody who's kind in this day and age is not stupidity. That is not stupidity. It's somebody with a cognitive mind that has chosen kindness and has chosen a new clean slate for every single person they meet along their way. Not a manipulative person who sees somebody new and decides automatically, this is the tactic. Look at them. She's kind. She's a girl. She's black. She's this. She's that. Ooh, what can we get from her? That is the manipulative strategy I'm talking about, is how master manipulators will use kindness and will see the kindness in other people just to get a strategy or something out of them. And so when you're kind, one thing that you need to realize is you need to reclaim the right to be rude. If you notice that somebody is giving you unsolicited gifts, things that you've never asked for, forcing a conversation or forcing a connection, creating trauma bonds with you through your pain, through your childhood, what you've been through, as a means of trying to also collect information through your kind gestures and your kind conversation with somebody, but they're constantly forcing themselves on you, this is the time where you have every right to be rude. You have every right to put your boundary down, and you have every right to keep it short. Because one thing that the society rules on, and one thing that society loves, is people who do not have boundaries. When you are having boundaries, and when people realize that you have boundaries, they know they cannot manipulate you. And this is why I say predatory kindness is for the mere fact to destroy the self respect that you have for yourself. It's to destroy the accountabilities that they should be having for overstepping your boundary. And it's also to make sure that you kind of sabotage yourself for every kind gesture that they bring, or that you bring, or that what is shared through the acts and the means of kindness. So when I mean reclaim the right to be rude, I'm basically saying find your own framework for selective skepticism, especially when you're looking at people who are constantly asking you something, asking you for a favor, but you know this person would not respect you if you said no. And even if you, after you have said no, watch how they react. That is a framework that you need to check. Um, Definitely be mindful of gifts. Be mindful of people who are suddenly wanting to cook for you, suddenly wanting to offer, invite you, suddenly wanting to, offer lending hand. I know, like I said, people can change and people are kind, but when people have no morale and people have no empathy, just be mindful of people like this, because these are the most manipulative people. And trust me, I've met the most manipulative people in my life, who come back with a gesture, or come back with a I'm sorry, or come back with a need to bring a gift. And this gift is a gift of attachment, it's a gift of strings. So yeah, just really in life, what I would definitely say is just stay away from people who are very manipulative. They have no access, they should have no access to your kindness. They should have no access to your morals, and they should have no access to further sabotage you just so that they can receive something from you. And obviously, I'm sure you can hear from what I'm saying, it's been a journey for me, because if you do not create boundaries, what happens is these people will further create narratives about you being unkind. And we are living in worlds where if you do not heal from the act of showing people you're a good person, You will constantly validate and seek approval, showing the very manipulative person that, look, I am kind. Look, I've done this for you. And you will constantly bend over backwards for somebody who never, ever appreciated you. So, this is why I say it's important to reclaim the right to be rude. If your kindness has been taken for granted and for weakness, and they have constantly and deliberately and emotionally and spiritually and verbally disrespected your gestures and your kindness, it's very important to lay a boundary, a firm boundary that you know and they know must not cross. And I've had to learn that the hard way, and I'm glad. So let's conclude to this the importance of delayed trust. You know, when everything in this world is 60 seconds, like our show reels, our Instagram is 60 seconds, when we tell people, who we are, it has to be 60 seconds, and we have to create this constant forced intimacy, forced interaction with people. We really lose the insight and the hindsight of trusting people because it's so intense, it's so fast rate. But when you create a delayed trust effort, you actually get to see people for who they are. And narcissists, manipulatives don't last long. And so, yeah, this is something I want to share very quickly. That these are the tactics of watching out for any predatory kindness, and making sure that you really, really allow yourself to be unkind to people who use predatory kindness against you. And if you made it this far, do like, share, and subscribe with somebody whose kindness has been taken for granted, because that is not a weakness, that is strength. And yeah, I'm proud of you for still being and choosing to be kind, even through a world of manipulators, even through a world of betrayers, even through a world of backstabbers. Always choose something that is dear to your heart, and know that the people that are kind, the kindest, you will receive that back. Never try be a manipulative person just to get something out of a human being. It does not end well for you. In fact, let's talk after 5 years and let's see the very same people who was manipulative to you and look at their life now. And I'll chat to you again. Ciao.